Hello, welcome to Dungeon Rose Podcast. I'm your host Justin. Today for Christmas month, we're reviewing the Marvel's Holiday Special 2004 trade paperback, which normally, holy fuck, U.S. it's 15.99 and Canada it's 25.75. Holy fuck. Well, I guess 2004 was a bad time for Canada. I think I paid like $10 for this, but like I don't know how much you would normally get for it. So it comes with the Holiday Special 2004, which I think was like a extra large single issue, which comes with three stories. The True Meaning of, which is a Fantastic Four story, written by Roberto Aguirre Sarcasa, pencils Duncan Rillo, and X-Men Xmas same writer, pencils by Roger Cruz, and then Jonah's Holiday Carol, which is basically Jonah Jameson from the Daily Bugle. Uh, they do a parody with A Christmas Carol with that character, and it's written by Tom DeFalco, artist Takeshi Miyazawa, who I have no idea who this guy is, but the art, it's very manga-esque, but it wasn't particularly that good. And like it didn't even look like real manga art. Cause wasn't there a fucking guy in Marvel who LARPed as a wasn't there a guy who LARPed as a Japanese guy with his shitty manga style art, and it turned out it wasn't even a real Japanese guy at all? Is that him? I don't fucking know, but let me pause to check. So I was kind of half right. He's Japanese, but he was born in Canada. So he didn't grow up in Japan. So and his art style is pretty weak, if you ask me. Yeah. So this also includes four other comic book stories. You got Marvel Team Up, which came out 1971, written by Roy Thomas, penciler Ross Andrew, which is about uh, Spider-Man and the Human Torch teaming up to take down Sandman, who's trying to go home for Christmas to visit his sick mom. You have Uncanny X-Men 143, 19 came out 1980, written by Chris Claremont and John Byrne. John Byrne's the penciler. You have and that one is about Kitty Pryde fighting um, fighting basically a demon, but it's Chris Claremont basically watched Alien and ripped it off. And like if you're an X-Men fan, if you bought like X-Men trades before, a lot of the times they'll sneak in this Christmas issue as like a bonus issue for a lot of trades. So like I think even like what was it? I'm trying to think. I think I have like two X-Men graphic novels that comes with this issue. I, I I just can't remember which ones, but yeah, it's like in one of them he wrote like a foreword saying like, yeah, I wouldn't have ripped off Ridley Scott's Alien if I knew it was going to be popular. So yeah, he basically, and by the way, um Ridley sorry, Kitty Pryde uh and what's the Thing are Jewish, so they tell you they're Jewish in this book. So just thought, something to think about. And the other two stories are Amazing Spider-Man 1988, which is written by David McElnine and art by Todd McFarlane, and you have Incredible Hulk that came out in 1988, by the way. And you have Incredible Hulk 378, written by Peter David, penciler Bill Jaska. That came out 1990, and it's about um, Rhino fights the Hulk, and that's basically it. It was pretty good actually. So, what do I feel about this book? I don't know. I only really enjoyed the last two stories, which is the Amazing Spider-Man one. Because what happened in that one is that Peter Parker and his girlfriend, or I don't know if his wife at that point, Mary Jane, get evicted out of their apartment because of, I don't know, some shit that has to do with some villain. So like that. So what happens is he's moping around trying to figure out where he's gonna stay. Uh, he hangs out with J. Jonah Jameson at the Christmas party. He's like very depressed. He's like trying to figure out uh, which of his like friends and family he can turn to. He doesn't want to go home because he just moved out and he feels like he would be going backward instead of forward in his life. He's trying to be independent. He gets a place to stay at like Flash Thompson's gym, who's I guess is running a boxing gym at that point. But after fighting some villains and seeing like his Aunt May at, at the gravesite of his dead uncle, he decides, oh, he's gonna stay. He's gonna stay at home for Christmas while he figures out his living arrangement. So I really enjoyed that story. The art by Todd McFarlane is really good. It's very like wholesome story. I guess so. So are the other three stories. The holiday special and like obviously like Marvel team up and Uncanny X-Men 143. I really liked it the first time around, but it was like 9 years ago since I first read this, and my opinions changed. I thought there was too much like dialogue with the Uncanny X-Men comic, by Chris Claremont, and like he uses like the character's supposed to be American. He uses like British slang. At one point, he describes meters like a series of distance as meters, which in America they use feet, not meters. Canada and the UK use meters, not fucking the US, which the other explain the difference between meters and like feet. And like you have the whole thing where like twice when she's fighting the demon, like there was like two moments when the demon probably could have killed her, and she somehow survived. I don't know. It's just the story. It jumped the shark too often. It was a nice horror story, so it's kind of cool with this holiday special trade paperback that they included all, you know, some comedy issues, and you had like some wholesome issues, and then you get one horror story. But the one horror story, I don't know, I didn't really like it at all, really. And this book is not very memorable. Like I read this 9 years ago. The only fucking memorable story I remembered was the X-Men Xmas, which is part of the holiday special 2004, and that it's basically Emma Frost and Scott Summers at home, stay at the academy for Christmas because one of their students, who's an orphan, doesn't have anywhere to go, so they stay at home and spend some time with the kid. And there's a nice moment when they're watching the fire, and Emma Frost is holding hands with the kid in her diamond form because the kid has this power where anything he touches, organic material, will like wither and rot away. So like he's able to hold hands with Emma because she's in her diamond form, and I thought that was a very touching moment. And though like there is some political correctness here and there. At some point, you have like Emma Frost calling people a bigot because they want to take in the mutant kid, which like have we forgotten the whole reason the X-Men exists is to fight evil mutants and try to portray like mutants as like not an evil thing, but like a force that can also be used for good. So it's like I don't know, the like X-Men are super left wing leaning, and it's like it's the reason why I don't read like X-Men comics anymore. It's like at at for sometimes they try to be like unbiased, right? But it's like it's just so dumb. It's like you guys know how fucking dangerous mutants can be. You fight mutants all the fucking time. It's and like there's a lot of times where mutants can't control their powers. Like if you ever played the X-Men Destiny game, was it X-Men Destiny or was it like oh fuck. I don't no, it was the X-Men alt game for the Xbox. I forget what is it, X-Men Legends, where a mutant, a teenage girl is just walking down the street and her powers just kick in and she destroys the whole city block, causing like God knows how much millions of dollars of property damage and possibly injuring or killing people. But yeah, like some guy who doesn't want a mutant hanging out in his house. Oh, he's a bigot. It's like shut the fuck up. Oh my god. And I also forgot to mention on the Uncanny X-Men issue that it's like Kitty is supposed to be 13 in that issue, right? And like what twice? No, like once she kisses Peter like the Colossal once on the cheek, and he like blushes up, and like she flirts with him like twice in that issue, and it's like he's visibly getting aroused by this 13-year-old girl. And I don't know how old Colossal is in that issue, but it's like, dude, she's 13, you fucking weirdo, and nobody else thinks it's weird. So yeah, that was very fucking creepy. Like I expect that shit in modern day manga. I didn't expect that shit in old comic books, but holy fuck. Yeah, I think Rorschach is right. Chris Claremont uh, is an overrated writer, and there's a reason why he doesn't write shit nowadays. Like what the last X-Men comic book he wrote, what was like a bikini issue or some shit. But then again, that was years ago. I don't know if he's written shit since, but like, I don't know. I would say like at least half the stories in here are decent, and like I guess if you're a comic book geek and you want to read comic book shit on the holidays, uh, half the if you can get this for cheap, I would say half the stories are good. But man, that fucking Uncanny X-Men comic almost took me like an hour to read because of how many fucking word bubbles there are. Like Jesus, and there was all the British slang I forgot to mention, or I did mention. So yeah, I would say if you can get this for cheap, it's worth it. I'm gonna give this 6.5 out of 10 because I did think like half the stories are decent, and the last two stories were really good. So I'm giving it a 6.5. And I Roy Thomas, who wrote the Marvel Team Up issue one. I always thought he was kind of like a mediocre writer, but I did kind of like his take on Human Torch. You know, so Human Torch in that book was pretty cool. So yeah, I'm giving it a 6.5. Uh, yeah, if you get this for cheap, I would totally recommend it. And the next comic book we're gonna review for this month, though we're not gonna do it like for our next review, is DC Holiday Nightmares. Sometime this month, I'm gonna review this book, and this thing, I think this came out. When did this come out? I bought it this year. This came out last year, so it's a pretty recent book. It's probably gonna suck because it's one of the issues is written by Tom King, but I don't know. I have some hope. It looks like it could be good, so we're gonna review this at some time in the month, and we might review a Shadow comic book. I forget it's called. It's like something in Moscow. I'll check it out, and we might review it for Christmas month. So the next two reviews for the weekend for Christmas month are we're just gonna. I've been in kind of a shitty mood, so I kind of want to review Bad Santa 1 and 2. Uh, Obviously, Bad Santa we're gonna review Saturday, and Bad Santa 2 we're gonna review Sunday. And that's it.